Alrighty y'all, in this test we're going to test the long springs against the coil spring traps and see which one wins. Alright, so we have three contestants. We got the number 11, number 1 coil spring, and number 1.5 coil spring. I hope you guys can see the difference between those two. These two have 4-inch jaw spreads. This one has a 4 3/4-inch jaw spread. All of them are side swiveled, so we'll see how that affects it. We're going to be testing where it grabs the foot, so how far the foot, coon foot, comes beneath the jaws. And then we're also going to be testing how well it holds, and we'll have to see which one comes out on top. Alright, so we're going to pull it sideways and see what happens. And then we're also going to pull it upwards, because in coyote trapping, sometimes if you're short chaining them, they'll be able to stand right up and sort of jump up and take all the tension out of your chain. And it'll be interesting to see how the traps hold in that way. None of these are coyote traps, but it'll be interesting to compare the double long spring to the coil spring. Pull sideways here. There we go. Not too hard on that one. And then we'll see if we can't reset her and pull her upwards. Pulling it upwards, nothing to it. Try the 1.5 next. See how that one does. Alright. Pull her sideways. That one was a good bit firmer. And as far as angles that I'm holding this at, when I'm pulling it, I'm basically just pulling at it, and if you understand what I'm talking about, I'm not pulling straight back. I am, but I'm not holding my wrist firm, so if it wants to go like this, if the foot wants to go like that, I'll kind of let it go like that. And then I don't believe I've tried this pulling straight up yet, or have I? I don't know. We'll do it again real quick. Yeah, nothing to it. Now I know why these coil springs are doing so bad, so you have to stay at the end of the video and I'll tell you, and it'll make a lot of sense. Pull her sideways. Boy, that thing is something else. Out of the way. Oh boy. Yeah. Ah, darn it. There goes my stick. Second time that thing's broke. Well, we'll also do the upwards test, even though she's broke. She holds well enough for us. Oh, shoot, there she goes. Pulling her straight up. Yeah. Wasn't really a fair test. She's kind of broken, but Alright, so I'm going to bring you guys in, and then we'll talk about the results here. Alright, so the coil springs, the reason they did so bad was because their side swiveled. Why they did so bad on the upwards pull anyway. Because you saw, when I pulled them upward, it would just go like this, wedge open the jaws, and this would come down. You see? Yeah. It would go like that. And I believe a good part of that is because it's at an angle. Both the levers, and this is kind of a circle. These were two, on the upwards pull test, these did pathetic. Although if you had a center swiveled one, which is what you would be using for coyotes or should be using, then it wouldn't be that bad. And then the number 11, our double long spring here, did pretty good on the side pull. It took a good bit of effort. And I believe that is because these are not at an angle like these levers are. These just go straight up. As you can see, and this is pretty straight. So I think that's why these held so good. And we didn't get an accurate upwards pull on this simply because the thing broke out. But I'm not sure if I will include it in the yeah, I probably won't add in the footage, but you got the footage of how hard these two were how hard these two were pull from the top. This one was much harder than these two. You're just pulling it right out the top. When I tested it with the stick that was not shattered, so this did superior pulling from the side, and this did superior pulling from the top. And once again, this is not a perfect 100% accurate test, simply because we do have, of course, this is not a raccoon foot. This is something I sanded down to be the dimensions I wanted. And then these are all side swiveled. So a lot of coil springs, not a lot, but the predator trapping ones are mainly center swiveled. And I know the Sleepy Creek long springs are center swiveled, and a lot of them are side swiveled. A lot of double long springs. So definitely pretty interesting. Another thing that we should talk about is the shorter jaws do grasp them a little bit shorter on the paw. Bigger trap will grasp it higher and leave more room for the raccoon to chew out its paw. So that is one thing to consider. So normally it's not too big of a problem with 1.5s, although I probably would recommend getting double jaws on pretty much any trap just for the safety of it. It'll be another, probably 20 cents, and it'll pretty much hopefully make sure that you don't lose a raccoon. And then one thing is these traps, just for reference, this trap is $5. I'm looking at the cheapest prices I can get near me. $5 for this, $5.70 for this, and $7.50 for this. And I find the long springs are also much easier to set. So it might not be for everyone because they're definitely a little bit more expensive, and pretty much the only company that makes number 2s and number 3s. 1.5 long springs are Sleepy Creek, and those are very expensive. So you can't really get a full lineup of long springs unless you go through them. And like I said, they're very expensive. Coil springs are, light, compact, pretty cheap. Although generally these springs might have to be replaced more often than the long springs. They do have to be replaced every once in a great while. So that's another thing to consider. And like I said, they're pretty much cheaper. Although I've caught possums in these 1.5s, and they've held just fine. Pretty much if you're buying the proper trap, whether it's a coil spring or a long spring, it'll hold your animal. But I definitely think I like these long springs better, and we'll probably be buying more of them. Anyway, you guys, thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. It would really help me grow the channel. And share this with a friend who would enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.